guys, welcome to Pajama Let's Play. I'm Michelle, host of Pajama Let's Play, where we talk all things Kingdom Hearts. Today, I'm going to be discussing the Goats of Atonement from Leviticus and their relation to the Gazing Eye and where they exist in the Kingdom Hearts series. Before we get into that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. You can follow me on Twitch, check out my Patreon. All of those links are in the description box down below. Today's video focuses on the Master of Masters, Sora, and Luxu, so I will be covering some spoilers here. If you'd like to get caught up on their stories first, feel free to do so. For everyone else, the name of the Keyblade, which holds the eye of the Master of Masters, is called the Gazing Eye in the global release of back cover, but it's called the Goat of Atonement when translated from Japanese. This is one of the many nuanced changes I noticed while rewatching the Union Cross cutscenes. Just to make sure we're on the same page here, let's see both names in question.
The Gazing Eye? It's not what it's called. Oh, what then? Actually, no name. No name.
Somewhere in the history of the passing down of the Keyblade, a chosen one who will reenact the Keyblade War will appear. When this chosen one takes the Goat of Atonement, Keyblade in hand. Is that the Keyblade's new name? Is it not called No Name anymore? Is it called Goat of Atonement? I will once again act to fulfill my final role. The Lost Masters will awaken.
It's easy to understand why Luxu would call it the Gazing Eye, as it literally has one of the eyes of the Master of Masters within it. However, the Goat of Atonement is far more telling in terms of the greater plot. In Leviticus, in the Old Testament of the Bible, it describes the Yom Kippur ritual the high priest would conduct. Each year, 4 animals would be sacrificed: a ram as a burnt offering, a bull for the sins of the high priest and his household, and 2 goats as another sin offering. 1 goat was not enough, and only the 2 goats together could absolve the sins being atoned for. So, the Master of Masters Keyblade is meant to be one of those goats. So what about the other? Well, that depends on how you view the physics of the Keyblade and the chemistry it has with its wielder. Many believe the Goat of Atonement is referring to the Master of Masters himself, which would mean that there is a second character needed to be the other Goat of Atonement. This could be someone like Luxu or Sora, or maybe someone we haven't met yet. If he plans to be a sacrifice for sin, he would need someone with a heart like his to partner up with. Honestly, I believe that would be Riku, because he gives me the same sort of vibe that the Master of Masters does, with the understanding of light, darkness, and how they can work together when balanced. The alternative, though, is the Goat of Atonement isn't the Master of Masters at all, but the Keyblade itself. We don't know how old the Master is, much less its Keyblade. But for the time being, I'm going to assume that he has been around since the very first Keyblade War. I don't have a lot of evidence for this, but I believe it's 2/3 of the Keyblade. Let's take a quick look at it being formed, which is the last time we see the Gazing Eye / Goat of Atonement in Kingdom Hearts 3 proper, followed by the next time we see it in the epilogue of Remind.
Now, the Keyblade War will finally reach its conclusion. The Keyblade is complete.
So the Gazing Eye / Goat of Atonement transformed into the Keyblade. They are not 2 separate Keyblades, but perhaps the 2 Goats of Atonement melded into one Keyblade to act in tandem. That would make the second Goat of Atonement the Kingdom Key, perhaps the Kingdom Hearts Key. To demonstrate why, let's take a look at the new version of that chess game in Remind.
Oh, right. What's this?
I heard about this new game.
7 black pieces, and...
Just watch.
It's clear the pieces have the masks of the 5 foretellers, and it zooms in on 2 pieces in the middle, right here. Well, those symbols are the Book of Prophecies and the Gazing Eye / Goat of Atonement. Most people assume that means the Master of Masters must be a Goat of Atonement. However, the game doesn't start until the crown piece enters. We know that's associated with Sora, though I believe it's actually the symbol for the Kingdom Key. The other time we know of an attempt to forge the Keyblade is in Birth by Sleep, but it wasn't the complete Keyblade. This may be because, as many of us stated in our various theories, that Ventus and Vanitas were not truly equal hearts, which is true. However, even if they had been, I believe they would have failed, because Ventus did not have access to Sora just yet, and therefore would not have had access to the Kingdom Keyblade, only his own. We also know the design of the Keyblade was meant to symbolize a clash of light and darkness. Well, the Kingdom Keyblade is lightly colored and the Gazing Eye / Goat of Atonement is darkly colored. When they clash, they form the Keyblade, which I believe can only be formed when those 2 specific Keyblades clash. Therefore, the Goats of Atonement must be the Gazing Eye Keyblade and the Kingdom Keyblade, regardless of their wielders. But what do you think? Is there a better fit for the Goats of Atonement? What will make the Book of Prophecies such an active player that it gets its own chess piece? Tell me all about your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all of the things I'm supposed to ask you to do, which are found in the description box down below. Until next time.